Hello, I'm making a video to show you what I learned after I rode this bicycle for probably, this electric wheel for maybe 4 or 5,000 miles. And this is fast because I ride like 100 miles a day. Now, I use it for delivery. There is a table that comes with this tool that I got here. This is my second video. I don't remember what I showed on the first. So I got this tool which measures the tension on the spokes, and the way it works is you put it in here, you press it down, right? Now this is the spoke is going to stop it from going back to zero. So the distance pushed here is 3.5 millimeters. And then if you look at the thickness of the spoke, I took a spoke out and I put it in here, and it came to, this is available, by the way, where the screws are in Home Depot, and it's like $3 or something like that. And it came to, it was around 2.5, around there, right? The spoke, I put the spoke in there. So that gave me this one, 2.3, 2.5 roughly. I'm using 2.3 because to be safer. Actually 90 kilograms. If you're going thicker, is less deflection, which makes sense, right? No, wait a minute. 2, then it jumps to 2.4, and then it jumps to 2.8, and then 3, and now it goes down. I don't know, it sounds like this 10 bike table is strange, but anyway, I'm gonna assume this is right. So I determined that the steel, when you put a load on it, it stretches and then it comes back, but if you pass the yield point, it doesn't come back. So you're gonna have permanent deflection on it. So I decided, I didn't look at any video, and I decided, well, by calculating the yield point of stainless steel is 33,000 pounds per square inch. So I calculated the square inch of the spoke, and I divided by 33,000 or whatever, or divided 33,000 by it or something like that, whatever, and I came out with 90 kg. Or in pounds it was double, whatever, 180 or whatever. Wasn't 90, I think it was 95. So, but I used 90. So I determined that this is the deflection that I want. And so I also had a problem with this wheel. Okay, so there are problems on the wheel that I didn't cover yet. The problems are that the spokes break. Oh, look what happened. I rode it and the spokes came loose because I put it so light. Anyway, I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna go tighten them up a little bit more then. Okay, so the spokes broke. I broke 9, 10, 11, 12. I broke 5 spokes. I put in new ones, and then I broke again. Oh, I gotta go. Pause. So I went for a ride, a few miles, and it looks like the vibration of the bike or something. What happened is that they came off. They didn't break, but they came off. They were loose, and they just in a few miles, 2 of them came off. So My system, see, two of them came off. Doesn't work. Whatever I was going to talk about, that doesn't work. But what I want to do is I want to get a spoke and put a weight on it. I'm going to measure the weight of these bricks, and I'm going to hang a few of them with the spoke, and then I'm going to put the tool and measure the deflection on between these 2 points with the load in the middle, and then the spring does the load, so it's always the same load on it. Of course, if it's very loose, it's gonna go back to zero. But if it's hard, it's gonna try to stay straight. So it's not gonna go back to zero. It's gonna stay high. And this is a deflectometer. It measures the deflection. It's used for seeing in labs. They use it for material testing. I used to work in one. Oh yeah, the other thing that I recommend is that the stem on the, when you get the tubes. Oh, there is another thing. Yeah, well, let me cover this. Get a stem for the tube. I had so much trouble getting air in there at the beginning. Every time I had a flat. I haven't had flats for a long time, because I'm going to show you the next thing, the tires. Let me turn the light on. These are the Comfort Ride from Walmart. No, these ones right here. 1 month. Look what happened to it. It got totally worn out. And the one I have there is a Continental. And it has 3 weeks, maybe, let's say 2 weeks. Look. See the big difference? So I think this tire, and the cost is $2 more. So for $2 more, you get a much better tire. I love it. It also has flat defense. So I didn't have any flats with this. It has a flat protection, which was good, and it never went flat, but it got worn really fast. You can see the protection there, the belt. These tires this is the tire that came with the bike, I think. Yeah. It just didn't. I had so many flats. This is like a week or something. It was so bad. It didn't last at all. This I found. Somebody knew that they were bad, and they got rid of them. I put it on the bike, and I had 2 flats in 1 day. Terrible. You can't use this for the road. I think there was the original tire that came on somebody's bike, and they got rid of them. They got better ones. They're kinda something. But maybe for off-road, this is great. I don't know. For free, this is great. You can't beat that deal. Okay, so I want to cover what kind of... This is a Bell tire. I just remember what it was. Oh, look here. This is probably because I was braking too much on one side, because I had a lot of trouble throwing the front wheel. Oh yeah, and this was on the front wheel, not the back wheel. It's a Bell flat defense. What else can I tell you? I put like 55 pounds on it. Maybe I put less actually. I put 45 and 50 sometimes. I had a, oh, this gluey thing. This is the other stuff they sell you at Walmart. It's the yucky, gluey green stuff, which is it's a mess. I don't have that. I don't use that anymore. I use Goodyear tubes, which are really, really thick. I don't have the box, and so far so good. And patches, and I use patches. The patches they sell at Walmart, this slime, that's the word. They are, you don't need cement, but they come off really fast. They're not so good. So I bought this from not Walmart, Amazon, and I haven't had a flat, so I have this is like 100 patches or something, really a lot of them, and I haven't had any flats, so oh well. So I'm gonna have to take that part. Oh, there's another thing that when you're trying to do these spokes on an e-bike, the best way to do it is to lift this, hang it from the ceiling or something, or with a rope or a chain, and then take the air out and take the tire out, but don't take it out of here. It's too much work. You have the cable. This cable there is gonna be on your way. This cable right here. You won't be able to take it out completely, and you're gonna feel miserable. So just leave it, the whole thing there, and take it out. Just take the tire out, and by hand, if you can. These tires come out easy, while those over there, the bell ones, oh my God. I had to cut it off one day because I was so upset. I couldn't get it out. It took me a lot of effort to get it out. And then when I got it out, the tube broke. So I had a bad experience with that tire. This one comes out almost by hand. Really easy compared to the other one, compared to the bell. So I got two. I got one first, and then I got one for the front. The one on the front is newer, because I didn't buy two both together because I just wanted to try it out first. So I tried this one for a week, and then the next week I have this one. Actually, on the first 2 days, I noticed that there is still there was still a thread left here from, like you see here. Oh, come on. Like you see this little I don't know what you call it, thing there, was here in the middle for a whole day or 2 or 3 days, and that's when I decided, okay, this is a tire, because it's not wearing. It wasn't wearing. I realized right away that it's a superior tire. It also is good for rolling, which means it's gonna roll a lot easier, longer, without putting gas or pedaling, which is good. You travel, so that means that you're using less electricity, less power. I think I get a mile or 2 miles extra per charge. My charge is 25 miles. No, 26, I'm sorry. Without pedaling. I do 26 miles. It's a 13 amp, 52 volt battery. And this is extremely heavy bike. Even when this is a steel bike, it's really, really heavy. And I'm heavy too. I'm at 6'4", 230 pounds or so. Uh, what's another recommendation I wanted to say? Oh yeah, I put this on last night. I had a lot of problems with the brakes because the spring. This thing was a spring and it broke, and it would stay in. It won't come back. So the brake thing wouldn't go back. It would stay like that. It wouldn't come back all the way. So it was always a nightmare. It was dragging all the time, making the wheel hot, and using more power. So now I'm really happy with those brakes. Gotta go again. Come on. Please. Yeah. So I did a video a moment ago and I wasn't sure whether I pressed the record button or not. So I'm gonna repeat everything again. Sorry. What I was recommending is to get a stem extension. Amazon 4. You buy 4 and like that. This kind works. The one they sell at the auto parts doesn't work. Do I have it in the front? No, I don't. They are black plastic ones. You gotta make sure that they look like this. The problem is that it doesn't work with my pump. I got this pump at Walmart. Where the hell is it? The Bell pump, which does, like, it has a very high volume. However, the valve is a little rough to get it in. If everything is like when you push it in, it pushes the valve in and causes problem. It doesn't grab easily. Fortunately, I have this one, which screws in, and I was able to use that. But this you have to pump like 100 times to get it inflated. This one you only pump. Every time you pump, it goes up 3 pounds or 2 pounds. And if 10 pumps, you're done. But then it's a pain to put the valve. So it works really good with this extension. Well, if you have a problem with the pump, that's how you can solve it. All right, so I went to do another ride, and this wheel is coming apart. I put the correct tension on the spokes, but they come unscrewed. They unscrew the nipples. They just come loose. That you can tighten by hand. So I don't know how to fix that. I'm gonna have to put a glue on it or something to keep them in there. Because I don't want to over tighten this because it comes off. So they break. Over tighten them. So I'm gonna have to find some higher tension so that you're like not breaking the spoke, but also they don't unscrew on their own. My God, this is a problem. However, the tension, I felt like it was correct because when I put on the front wheel, they were loose, and it was making a lot of noise every time I make a turn. Like they go make a strange noise. But this wasn't making any noise, so it felt like it was the right tension. But I didn't expect this these things to unscrew with the vibration of the motor. They unscrew. That's the problem. So I had to figure out how to solve that problem. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pick up the wheel and fix it again, take the tire out and fix it again. Something that I don't like doing. The problem is that I don't have a lot of time, because I have to go on delivery, and if I take this apart, I start losing a lot of money, and I don't enjoy it. So I don't know, I think maybe I'm gonna have to buy another wheel while I work on this one. I'll just take the time off and do it really fast. I spent a lot of hours last night fixing it, and now this happens. So I'm gonna go to 4 millimeters deflection on this machine, on this tool. I was doing 3.7 and 3.5. So this is the way it works. You put it on and then you let it go and it stops. If you have a lot of tension, it's not gonna move too much, so it's gonna stay high. But if you have no tension, the spoke is gonna bend and this is gonna go low. You're gonna have going back to zero. So that's no tension at all. So like I said before, I got this on Amazon for about $35. You have to look for it because they have another one that's $80. But this one is good because I thought it was smaller here, and it just fits. It just fits there. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. I don't know if the other video got recorded, but let's do it again. Why not? You have to put it first. You squeeze. First you squeeze, and then you put it like that. Oof, my camera was not aiming right. And then you let go. See how it's on 6 millimeters? Make sure it doesn't touch anything else. Let it go, and it's got 3.5, 3.5, almost 3.6. So I'm going to increase that to 3. Oh, on this side, I'm putting more. This is too low, way too low. See how, I don't know if you can see how the spoke bends. See? You see it bending? So the more it bends, the less tension it has. If it has a lot of tension, it's not going to bend at all. So this is going to stay high. It's going to stay really high. Anyway, they were way more than 4 millimeters, and they were breaking, so I lowered it. But now they are unscrewing. Okay. I talked about the tires also. What I didn't say was, what tires are these? Which is important. It's Continental Ride Tour. Then it's got the little plug. 25. I don't remember what the 25 meant, but there is a 50, I think, and the 25. I don't remember what it is. Extra something. Can read from here. Highly recommended. See, look at the thread. On the outside, it's still new, and on the inside, after almost 3 weeks, is beginning to wear. But look at the 4 weeks in here. Look at the difference. This is 4 weeks. Bell. Big difference, huh? I don't think that one is gonna look like this in a week. It's gonna still look good. So it beats it, and it's only $2 more, the cost. So, and I think it's free shipping from Amazon. And this one you pick up at Walmart. It's no good. You can't even see what the thread look like. 4 weeks. 2 of them. That's the other one. This has, I don't know, this is, I found this tire. And this is the original tire that came with that wheel. I'm gonna cover what the wheel is, the name of it. I scratched it. See, when I installed this, I left these screws a little bit loose, and the screw right here made a gigantic groove here. I was listening to the noise, and I thought there was something wrong with the motor. But there is the Voilamart at Walmart, at Amazon. You buy these ones. So now you know which one I'm talking about. This leg is pretty good, but it's a little bit soft here, and I think this is beginning to bend out. So I'm gonna have to put a piece of steel here to keep it straight. I don't know if you can see how it's bending. See, that's a weak point right here. If it's gonna break, it's gonna break right here. They chose a bad place for the screw, or I mean, you didn't put the screw there, but you had to reinforce it, or else the leg is gonna break. But this leg is good and it's not expensive, and I recommend it. And this is a 48 volt, but I put a 52 volt battery and it works fine. It just goes a little bit above 20 miles per hour when it's fully charged. But then it drops down to 18 and 19 for a long distance, and then when it's about to run out, it drops to 17 and a half maximum speed. Roughly, you know, it could be a mile more, a mile less. So when it starts dropping, means that you're about to run out. Also, it makes a noise. 5 miles just before it's gonna run out of power, the motor makes this sound like it's scratching metal to metal noise, and which lasts for a couple of blocks, maybe 4 blocks max, and then it goes away. And that means you have 5 miles left. You better go home or go find a power outlet or something fast, because you're about to run out. All right, see you later.